This is lesson number 3 of our flute class. My name again is Rolayne Young, and we're going to continue on a little bit with the idea of rhythm and creating our own song. Our goal today is to kind of learn how to create our own song. We've talked about nursery rhymes, thinking the nursery rhyme in our head as we play our notes, random notes. We have talked about having the song go in our mind as we play random notes. And this gives us a rhythm, kind of a melody to our song. And a song's got to have a rhythm and a melody to it for it to sound like a song. Even our heart has a rhythm to it. The beat of our heart has a rhythm. And if it gets out of rhythm, there's something wrong with us, and that's something our doctors will pick up on. So the Native Americans even feel like the earth itself has its own rhythm to it. We played around a little bit with Lakota courting song, and as people come into our class, I can give handouts to all of the things that we've talked about here. But I want us to now take a copy of the pentatonic scale, and I'm just going to hold this up. On the top is the pentatonic scale. That is the scale we are playing. And you can write this down, you can draw this out on paper to set in front of you if you haven't come into class to get the copy. But just below it, I have a game scale. It is the pentatonic scale, and I've given each note a number. And what I want you to do is to find a dice, and get out a dice, and roll that dice, and get a copy of your blank. You'll have to come into the class to get the blank tablature like this, and keep it as a master copy. But for each roll of the dice, just a single dice, 1 through 6, roll that dice out. Whatever number comes up, I want you to look on here, and this is what you're going to write down as your first note to put on your song. Then roll the dice again, and whatever number comes up, that's going to be the second note of your song. You're going to fill that in on your blank tablature. Keep doing that until you've filled up a whole page of tablatures. And I'm not sure there's, maybe 20, 25 tablatures to a full page. I have the copies of the size that we have here, and I have some bigger ones for those who have harder time seeing the page when it's set down in front of you. But once you've filled out that whole entire page, on that page, you're going to have a full group of different random notes. And I want you to just start playing those notes one after the other, and see if you get kind of a song. Kind of create your own melody and rhythm in your mind. Think of a rhythm that maybe you want to do. If you want to do a nursery rhyme to those notes, go ahead and do that. Play around with those notes, and some of them it might, as you get to that point, you think, I don't like that. Do this in pencil, because if there's a note that comes up and you don't like the way it sounds, erase it and decide, what do I want to put there instead? And just put another note in there and try that out. Then start your song from scratch again and play all the way through it until you come to that point, and then go beyond it and see if you like how that sounds. If you do, move on until you come to another spot that you're thinking, that just wasn't very cool. Erase that note and try something. Maybe put the note you just played previously, put it a second time. Songs have the note played more than once quite often. Sometimes you might roll the dice and you might put that same note in there 3 times, but that could sound pretty cool. But as you go through and do this, play around with that song and just practice it so that you become comfortable playing that over and over again for the next week. And you may find things that you want to change, notes that you want to do a little differently. And go ahead and do that. Change things, change them around. Everything I do in pencil until I get it the way I want it. And once I'm satisfied with it, I'll come over it with a black marker and just fill in those dots so that I can see them better when I'm looking from a distance. That way I can play my song and I can read my notes without having to get my face down in it, because I don't see that well that I can see pencil marks on a piece of paper while I'm standing up and it's on the table. But play around with that song all week long. Just come up with ideas that you think will be fun. Find spots where you think that what come from the dice just doesn't work, and pull from your own thoughts. This is how you build a song, is by finding notes that you like to put together. And I want you to hang on to this song, because we're going to be using this in lesson 5. We'll come back to it and we'll pull it out, and we're going to do some things to add to it in lesson 5. So this lesson's kind of short because you're going to spend more time on your own rolling the dice and filling in your tablature, because we want this song to be enough notes that you've got somewhere to go with it, so that you can kind of make something out of it. Because this is going to be the first song you write that's maybe not coming quite from your heart yet, but coming from the dice that you toss out there. But it's giving you some random notes, and then when we go into lesson 5, we'll make it a little more from the heart. So that is all I have for lesson 5 today. Thanks for joining us. And we'll go on to the next lesson. Hope you come back for lesson 4.